Hello, I'm sure the Lindt shop at Martin Place is being held up by somebody. He had a blue bag and it looked like he had a shotgun in there.
The first signs of a deadly standoff. An anxious call to 000.
I need to read a message to you.
Okay, can you just hang on a minute?
Confusion.
So it's straight, is that in Martin Place or Sydney?
Then shock.
Traffic for our night purchase. Got 2 female staff members with their hands up at the door.
As a madman brings a city to its knees.
I knew we were dealing with someone capable of killing people. It was a person who was to be feared.
Tonight,
if you try to run, yes, I'll shoot you. If you run, I'll shoot someone else.
the inside story of the Lindt siege.
She hears Monos reloading his shotgun and realises this is her chance to escape.
Graphic new footage.
I thought he was going to shoot us in our back. I thought he was going to just start shooting.
The secret recordings. As Man Monos holds 18 hostages at bay.
This guy's got a weapon. It's not going to end well.
17 hours of desperation,
The lowest gone.
fear,
He's saying someone has to die.
and tragedy. As terrorism came to Sydney
And it was me he was going to shoot.
and reached its bloody climax. Months ago, the nation was transfixed by the siege here at Sydney's Lindt Cafe. But the full story of what happened is only now emerging at an exhaustive inquest. Unseen security vision, secret police recordings, the desperate negotiations. Tonight, for the first time, we take you inside the cafe to paint that final, complete, and desperate picture of a terrifying 17 hours. It's the morning of December 15, 2014, and Man Monos, murder suspect, religious crackpot, and sex offender, casually walks up Sydney's Martin Place towards the Lindt Cafe. 8 separate CCTV cameras capture Monos carrying a black backpack. Inside, a mock bomb, a sawn-off shotgun wrapped in a Big W shopping bag, and a kitchen knife.
It must look like a tourist, really, with his backpack. Baseball hat, walking along, not showing any signs at that particular stage that he might be skittish. There might be some issues to do with that way he's actually conducting himself as well. And certainly no specific threat at that stage.
The city is warm and hazy, in a summer frame of mind, and staff at the Lindt Cafe are already hard at work getting Sydney started. Among them, manager Tori Johnson and casual worker Jared Morton Hoffman, a student.
I always work afternoons. I was complaining about it being too early in the morning. Tori's telling me, no, it's going to be a good day, everything's going to be fine.
The Lindt Cafe is an institution in Sydney. On the corner of Martin Place and Phillip Street, it's popular with the city's banking and legal fraternity. It has 2 public entrances and a rear emergency exit. Man Monos enters the cafe through the main entrance and walks over here and sits down at table number 36. For the next 20 minutes, he surveys what's going on around him, but doesn't even order anything. He then calls over 19-year-old Fiona Ma and orders tea and cake. Fiona began work as a Christmas casual a week earlier, and Monos is her first customer that day.
He ordered the velour chocolate cheesecake off the cake selection. It's delicious. So I put it down on the table, and then he ordered a black tea, an English breakfast. It was nice, actually. It was nice as a customer.
The cafe is already getting busy. There's the regular customers, like Julie Taylor and Katrina Dawson, both barristers, along with 72-year-old Robin Hope, her 52-year-old daughter Louisa, and Westpac executive Selena Winpay.
Excuse me, miss.
And he called me over, and he asked me what my manager's name was. I said Tori, and he asked to speak with Tori. I thought he wanted to complain, which was a bit strange because I thought I gave good service. But I brought Tori over, and then as we were walking towards the table, I saw him gesture to Tori to sit down.
Tori asked me to come over,
I just need you to go get my keys.
and he just said to me pretty deadpan, lock the doors, everything's okay, no one's in danger, tell all the staff that everything's alright. I went to the front door and I locked it, and some people started banging on it from both sides, and a couple of people wanted to leave the store as well and said, look, I can't let you go, I've been told to lock the doors.
Up. And he started yelling out to everyone to move. And he started basically saying, right, move, just move in there.
The hostages are totally surprised. and confused. They don't know who the gunman is or what he's planning, but any doubts about his intentions are soon dispelled.
I need to read a message to you.
Okay, can you just hang on a minute? Philip Street, is that in Martin Place or Sydney?
Cafe manager Tori Johnson calls a 000 operator to outline the gunman's handwritten demands as Man Monas brandishes his shotgun nearby.
But Australia is under attack by Islamic State. There are 3 bombs in 3 different locations. Martin Place, Circular Quay and George Street.
Despite the operator's seemingly offhand response, Tori remains calm throughout the entire 12-minute phone call.
Police could not come close to me or other brothers, otherwise they would explode the bombs.
Okay, so we've got, hang on a sec. What were the other ones that you gave me?
I need to finish reading this.
Yes, I understand that. Just hang on a minute.
Sorry, I have a gun in front of me.
Alright, so do you have anything else?
Just show them everyone that Neil shoot them.
The operator then alerts police about the unfolding siege.
Informant is currently being held at gunpoint, and there's 3 bombs in the location. Informant calling from inside the Lindt chocolate shop above Martin Place. Just the cars on Channel 10.
Senior Constable Paul Withers, a highway patrol officer, is one of the first to respond.
So city car, any car that can make their way.
389 Road and Fast.
389, thank you very much.
Man Monas now orders everybody to hand over their phones and identification. Then, inexplicably, he tells Katrina Dawson, Stefan Balafutis and Julie Taylor that they can leave. But when they're just a few steps from freedom, he calls them back. He's changed his mind. 17 hours later, Katrina would be dead, hit by shrapnel from a police bullet as they stormed the cafe.
It's not the action of a hardened terrorist. He doesn't have a plan, I don't think, at that stage. I think what he's trying to do is to figure out, as it unfolds, what he wants to do. If it was ISIS, I think it would be a very different outcome at the very beginning. The statement would have been made already with slaying a hostage.
Meanwhile, in the foyer, as seen in this CCTV footage released by the inquest, more customers are trying, unsuccessfully, to get into the locked cafe. Among them, Rosemary Burt.
So you got Rosemary coming up to the door here, giving it a good shake. She's obviously waiting to try and get a coffee or whatever. She still stays there, and stays there. 3 more people have turned up to get hold of a coffee. She's still by the door, so there's other people coming out from the lifts as well. And I think she suddenly realises now that she can see a guy with a weapon. As soon as she realised that was going on, she then just turned around and grabbed somebody and managed to pull people away to safety.
Hello, sure, the Lindt shop at Martin Place is being held up by somebody. He had a blue bag and it looked like he had a shotgun in there.
She kind of reports in very clearly. She thinks there's an armed robbery occurring right now in the Lindt Cafe.
Okay, just stay with me on the phone. So it's the Lindt shop, as in the chocolate? L-I-N shop? Yeah, L-I-N-D-T.
She has the clarity of vision to call in assistance straight away. You know, she just wants to make sure at the end of the day that there's a response to this particular dreadful instance.
Well, about 9:15, 9:20, we started getting calls from listeners that there was something happening in Martin Place. But we didn't really find out for about 25 minutes how grave it was when people from office buildings started calling the program and saying there appears to be a siege happening at the Lindt Cafe.
Senior Constable Paul Withers is the first police officer on the scene.
Constable Withers, when you look at the footage, did a fantastic job. Actually, he was in right behind the pillar where this lady was actually just there, you know, literally a couple of minutes ago. So he's using the actual pillar as cover.
Hostage Marcia McHale communicates with him through the locked door that they are being held by a lone gunman.
And he's actually taken a sneak around the corner to see just exactly what's going on. He knows his line of sight is exposed here. Okay, if he moves around the corner and Monas starts to see a uniform, there's a chance that obviously weapons could be fired at that particular stage.
Withers is able to peer through the glass and sees Monas holding a sawed-off shotgun. He's wearing a black backpack that appears to have wires poking out the top.
He does a great job. He doesn't expose himself at all. He then turns around and actually gets on the radio.
Traffic 389 urgent.
389.
I've got 2 female staff members with their hands up at the door. Both of them very visibly distressed.
2 minutes later, the entire precinct around the Lindt Cafe is in lockdown, swarming with police, guns drawn. Martin Place train station is shut down and roads are cordoned off. Then comes the Tactical Operations Unit, the crack team of police siege specialists, including snipers. A command post is established in nearby Elizabeth Street. Authorities now believe it's a homegrown terrorist attack.
The thing I remember was that a couple of us said, it's not going to end well. And we knew that at the very beginning. It's almost like, you know, this guy's got a weapon. He's got so many people that are scared. He's got a backpack with a device in it. It's not going to end well.
Monas then begins placing people at windows around the cafe. And so it begins. 18 hostages, 17 hours of terror.
I remember him saying, if you try and run, he goes, I'll shoot you. If you run and you escape, I'll shoot someone else.
So as we were standing there and people were getting very, very upset and crying, and I thought he was going to shoot us in our back. I thought he was going to just start shooting.
Coming up, a city in lockdown. A frantic escape as Man Monas is unmasked.
I became really concerned that it wasn't just some random act, it was a person who was to be feared.
The entire centre of Sydney is in lockdown. Man Monas claims he has a bomb inside the Lindt cafe, and there's others planted around the city. Heavily armed police tactical response teams are in position around the cafe.
I thought what he'd do at the very beginning of that siege would be to shoot somebody, and thank God it didn't happen, to really kind of ramp up the whole thing.
Man Monas' identity is still unknown, and exactly what he is trying to achieve is unclear, even to his 18 hostages in the cafe. He forces some of them, including Jared Morton Hoffman, to call police and media to pass on a series of increasingly bizarre demands.
To make a public announcement to his other brothers of his own state not to blow up their bombs at George Street and Circular Quay. And he wants to do that on national radio because he has no other means of contacting them, as they do not carry cellulars. They have radios with them.
Okay, they have radio devices, so they can listen to public radio, is that right?
Yes, so he wants a public announcement.
I spoke to Jared, who was very calm and collected, which almost was surreal. I thought maybe he's not a hostage because he's too calm.
Radio broadcaster Ray Hadley took his first off-air call from Jared Morton Hoffman just after midday. But, at the request of police, he didn't tell his listeners.
And I went back on air and had a greater feeling of what despair there was there and how serious the situation was, having spoken to someone who was, basically telling me that if the demands weren't met, people would be shot.
One of the gunman's key demands is a live radio audience with the Prime Minister, Tony Abbott. In this phone call to Nine News reporter Mark Burrows, Marcia McHale pleads for him to help facilitate Monas' demand.
We understand the Prime Minister is a very busy man. However, I think, the lives of quite a few people here are more important than whatever he's doing right now. Whether he's playing golf or walking with his dog, I don't know what the hell he's doing.
The event started to take a twist, really, when he started to demand, kind of consultation with the Prime Minister. What he was trying to do, he was trying to actually elevate his position as being the authority. You will jump to my demands. I want to speak to the top dog, okay? I want to get to the actual head on show. There was no way he was going to get access at that particular level. When you do that, you actually really start promoting them on a platform that is lost, and they won.
Not only does Monas want an audience with the Prime Minister, he also wants an ISIS flag delivered to the cafe. In this secret police recording from a bug planted inside the building, we hear the gunman discussing the demand with hostage Jared Morton Hoffman.
Friendship flag. It's easy, everyone can paint whatever. I can manage on friendship flag. If you don't have a future, I'll paint everything. The point is that baby is bringing to one flag.
We were all going, what is this flag? Just give him the flag. Just innocent people. We had no idea. I didn't know what he was talking about, honestly.
By now, police know who the gunman is. Man Monas, an Iranian refugee who came to the attention of ASIO way back in 1996 when he applied for residency in Australia.
You Australians or American?
Monas is a fraudster, a fantasist, a religious zealot, and a very dangerous man. He's facing sexual assault and murder charges. Yet somehow, he's out on bail.
I started to be greatly concerned when the police told me who we were dealing with, because I'd talked about this fellow for many, many times. He was granted bail in the most unbelievable circumstances. He was already facing charges in relation to a murder, and I knew we were dealing with someone capable of killing people based on what I knew of him. And that's when I became really concerned that it wasn't just some random act, it was a person who was to be feared, and subsequently that was proven to be right.
Radio announcer Ray Hadley's fears are heightened by the knowledge one of the hostages is Katrina Dawson, sister of his friend, barrister Sandy Dawson.
I remember him telling me that he was greatly concerned. It was rather prophetic, because he said that the young lady she was with was heavily pregnant, and that his sister was the type of person that would do anything to protect that young woman and her baby. And it just stuck with me.
Man Monis knows he's vulnerable to police attack, so he gets hostage Jared Morton Hoffman to warn police they must back off.
I'm currently a hostage at Lindt, please. Can you please tell all police officers to move away immediately?
So you're in the Lindt building, are you?
Now, yes, I am right now. He's going to shoot someone right now. Can you please tell them to go away?
Monis also insists his hostages continue to stand at the windows like human shields. Among them, pregnant barrister Julie Taylor and Harriet Denny, also pregnant. She has a gun trained on her back.
He wants the world to see from this particular side of the glass that he has got the control. He's got these individuals doing what he wants them to do, and he wants them to see the fear in these people's eyes as well.
I literally thought that he was going to shoot us, so everybody can see through the window. I thought I was gone, and I knew my family would be watching. That was hard.
In fact, the whole world is watching, including 3 police snipers. One in the adjacent Reserve Bank, one across in the Westpac building, and the third in the Channel 7 building directly opposite.
I stood at the windows facing Martin Place. I just looked straight across to Channel 7. And I think, I saw the sniper there and the cameraman, and I just stared at them. I was just like, can you see me?
I tried to stay a bit off centre, thinking that give the police a bit of view, a bit more of a direct line. And he realised that, and out of nowhere, I just felt his grab. He grabbed me from the back of the neck, and he goes, "Here, not here."
The sniper teams are some of the best in the world. So if they felt they had the shot to take at that particular moment in time, they would have taken it. There's no two ways about it, okay?
Everybody is now thinking about escape. At one stage, Joel Herrick and Jared Morton Hoffman, who have both armed themselves with knives and a pair of scissors, toy with the idea of overpowering their deranged captor.
I've got this knife in my pocket, and I know Joel has a knife in his pocket. And we are so close we could do this, but, someone would need to jump, hold his arms down, and then I would stab him in the jugular. But he had his gun, he had it on his knee, and I could see that it was pointed directly at Julie Taylor's back. And so we never did it.
While Monis is distracted in that far corner, 82-year-old John O'Brien shuffles along in his seat, squeezes in between this petition and the wall, hits the emergency button and runs for his life. Barrister Stefan Belafudis is hot on his heels. "34 seconds later, Paolo Vassallo sprints for the emergency exit at the rear of the cafe.
I saw John go through. It's either going to be now or it may be never. And I ran. Yeah, I didn't turn around. Me running, there was a chance I could make it, but there was just as much chance I could have got shot.
At first, Man Monis is stunned, then irate.
I thought he was going to shoot somebody. I pushed myself off the seat and I fell right on the ground, because if he shoots, he'll shoot up, he won't shoot down. And he said, what the? And he just freaked out.
He was just gasping for air. He was like, like trying to comprehend what had just happened.
It's a desperate time for him. And he's thinking to himself, like, well, what do I do now? How do I kind of control the situation? So his mind's then working overtime, and he was starting to run out of options, really, in his own particular mind anyway.
Where's the guy with the white shirt?
And he's talking really, really fast. And he's saying, the police have helped them. I have to kill you now. Someone has to die.
And he said, right. Eye for an eye. Is 3 gone? I have to shoot 3 of you. I thought, oh, Christ. And they're standing there, and he literally was poised.
Coming up, a madman's deadly threat.
So he says, if anyone else runs, I'm going to kill someone.
As hope fades.
My life is going to be gone in 15 minutes if we don't have someone helping us.
It was me he was going to shoot.
Three hostages have escaped the Lindt Cafe. Here we see Paolo Vassallo as he pleads with police to move in and end the siege immediately, or people will die. But they still believe Monis has a bomb, and it's just too dangerous.
People can actually kind of speculate as to whether the police should have gone earlier or, whatever. But you're dealing with an unknown here.
It was a developing situation. They go in and they don't know whether he does have a bomb. Those who go in get killed, all the hostages get killed, those from George Street up Martin Place get killed. I mean, there's a whole range of scenarios that they've got to deal with.
Increasingly desperate and agitated, gunman Man Monas gives his 15 remaining captives a deadly ultimatum.
He wants to make a deal. So he says, all right, if anyone else runs, I'm going to kill someone. It's an eye for an eye. And yeah, so the stakes just got a lot higher after those first three left.
We're not dealing with someone who was well versed in how to complete a criminal plan. We're dealing with a madman. And that probably made it more difficult for negotiators, for police, that there was no rationality attached to it.
The perimeter of the building is ringed by police eavesdropping on the cafe, waiting for an opportunity to move in. And from their vantage points, the snipers watch and wait.
I'd hear a noise, so I knew they were there. He spotted, a policeman outside at the very last window. And he got, I think it was Jared, to write down on a piece of paper, go away or he will kill us. And he told me to go up to the window and just hold it there for 2 minutes. So I just went and held it there. And outside I could hear the policeman say, this guy is crazy. And they left immediately because, they didn't want anything to happen.
Police retreat just out of sight, and Man Monas continues his vigil from the corner of the cafe, away from the windows and the direct line of fire. Shotgun in hand and backpack always on, he has sweeping views of the entire room. But there is a blind spot, and the blind spot is about to be exploited by two of the hostages.
He managed to keep control on people very, very quickly. But as the actual game started to play out, he was losing control. And was he starting to get slipshod with certain things from a kind of a breakout point of view?
Monas also allows the hostages to use toilets at the rear of the cafe. Here, both Fiona Ma and Harriet Denny send secret text messages on the phone Fiona's kept from the gunman.
And Fiona, that young woman, so stoic, so calm. What a little clever thing she was. Mobile phone in her pocket, my goodness, taking a personal risk like that. And sharing that with everyone. She didn't have to share, she didn't have to offer, but she did. So amazing, really.
Hi. This is Jared. Oh, Jared, this is Tim. How you going? And they've been okay.
Monas himself has a phone, but he refuses to use it. Instead, the hostages continue to relay his increasingly futile demands, including his request for an ISIS flag.
Basically, the guy just says to me that if you don't have the flag, don't bother calling again. If you don't have the flag, don't call again. Sorry, how'd you get this number, Jared? This is the number you've been calling off. I have to go. Goodbye. Okay, bye.
As the afternoon draws on, two of the hostages, waitresses Ellie Chen and April Bay, are able to take advantage of Monas's blind spot. Only meters away from the gunman, Ellie has been lying sick under a table near the foyer exit. April joins her.
He started to let his guard down. He didn't realise just exactly where people were at any one stage. He tried his best to actually maintain contact with everybody. But if you look at the numbers that were in that room, it's very, very difficult for anyone to actually kind of keep an eye on anyone else.
At 4:57 p.m, Ellie and April make their move, cautiously and silently.
And I saw April was standing up and she was pulling the deadbolt down on the side door.
This was an extraordinarily brave move given how close Man Monas was. It is excruciating to watch. They are so nervous and so tentative, and it seems to take them forever to get this door unlocked, to move across this foyer and to their freedom. So stealthy is their escape, nobody realises they've gone apart from Jared. And fortuitously, they've left the door unlocked.
I was the only one that realised they were gone and that the door was open.
Later, Man Monas is bewildered when he turns on the radio and hears a news report claiming 5 people have now escaped the cafe.
And it just goes, tense. And he just goes, what?
Then recalled him saying, where are the girls? Where is that girl on the floor?
Someone said, the media's lying. And everyone goes, yeah, the media's just trying to make you look bad.
And we're saying things like, the press, they make things up, so there wasn't 5, there was only 3. And that story was, reiterated amongst us, and he kind of went with that.
It's early evening. Man Monas is getting increasingly frustrated by the media's refusal to broadcast his demands. He encourages the hostages to begin making video appeals to post on the internet.
My name is Julie Taylor. I'm a barrister in Sydney. This is a message for Tony Abbott. We're here with our mother who's asked for 3 simple things. We had 3 specific requests and none of those have been met. One is to send an IS flag.
He's sitting around us, he's right in the middle with a gun, directing in a sense, yeah.
We're in the corner under constant threat. And I remember him laughing. And he said, move the Lindt sign in so you could get the Lindt sign. Good advertising for Lindt. And I just remember thinking, are you for real? Is this a joke?
They don't understand why his demands haven't been met yet. They are not unreasonable. He's only asking for a flag and a phone call, and that's it.
He's obviously seen this before. It's almost like he's copied that. And that's the next level.
He wants an ISIS flag, and he wants Tony Abbott to bring him and speak to him on live media.
But with a media blackout in place at the request of police, it's impossible to get their increasingly desperate appeals broadcast.
Please help us. Help us to get Tony Abbott to call this gentleman to send the freaking IS flag.
And I said, mate, I don't think you realise the magnitude of the situation we were in.
We are not going to walk out of here. So I hope you get to sleep well at night, because we're just not going to, mate.
As evening comes, the mood is becoming more desperate inside the cafe, and Man Monis's behaviour and demands even more bizarre. He's restless, constantly moving around. At 7:30 p.m, one of the 3 snipers has him in his sights. He radios the command centre asking to take the kill shot, but the request is denied. It's too risky.
It's all about information flying back up the tree. The shot could be compromised. We could end up with a kind of a situation where a hostage walks into a line of fire. And also what rounds are being used as well, you know. Is it going to cause this particular ricochet? And that's what people don't realise, is that ricochets themselves are lethal.
Just before 8 p.m, Monis instructs Selena Wynn Pay to have the street lights turned off. She calls the police negotiator.
Told the boss that, we want to get those lights off. They're getting looked at, but they're not. They're council lights. They're City of Sydney lights.
Matt, my life is going to be gone in 15 minutes if we don't have someone helping us.
And then 10 minutes went by, and obviously the lights aren't off, and we're trying to postpone, because why aren't the lights off?
Within seconds of that, up. And it was me he was going to shoot. And he made me stand right in front of the Lindt doors, and I was just standing there. And I could feel the gun here and here. And I thought, Christ, this is how I'm going to see my father. And I said, please, brother, please don't shoot me. Please don't shoot me. I only have my mum. Please don't shoot me. He looked me straight in the eyes and he said, you have 15 minutes. I thought, 15 minutes?
The lights are never turned off. Monis doesn't follow through on his threat, but he's on a hair trigger.
He's not getting tired. He's more agitated and more awake. You can tell there's a lot of adrenaline in him, and the threat of him shooting someone out of frustration or out of fear is increasing as the night draws on.
And I was surprised to not see a body count, really, because, I thought they've actually kind of got one over on him. But the threats really weren't carried out, thank God.
The atmosphere is tense. Exhausted and terrified, the hostages sit quietly as the hours tick by. Then, around 11 p.m, the gunman unexpectedly allows some of them to phone their loved ones. For Selena Wynn Pay, the signs are ominous.
I said, hi, Mum. And she said, hi, darling. And she sounded empty. And I said, Mum, it's not looking very good. You know what to do? You do understand what I'm saying, Mum? Yes, darling.
Coming up, a desperate dash for freedom.
And I just ran out the back.
As the gunman shoots to kill.
It's a shatter of glass, and he'd obviously shot at the door that we'd all run through at our store.
It's 2 a.m, almost 17 hours after the siege began, and gunman Man Monis now appears quite deranged.
energy levels, kind of, thought processes, tricks of the mind. The light disappears and all of a sudden something over here actually looks like, a movement, a quick movement. The night itself actually poses a better position for the police. They'll have NVGs, which is night vision goggles. They'll have infrared, so they can start looking at kind of heat traces within the rooms. He would then be thinking to himself, like, well, actually, time's ticking on. I'm losing the advantage.
Monas hears noises coming from the back of the cafe, and he's convinced police are about to storm in through the emergency exit door. Here, Monas can be seen using Fiona Ma as a human shield as he takes her and Selena Wynn Pay out to investigate.
He's scared. He's actually had something kind of going on in the background or whatever. He's taken his human shields with him.
And that's when he told me to stack the boxes because he thought they would be able to get in through, the fire exit door. So he at that point, he was extremely paranoid.
Out near the fire exit with Fiona and Selena, Man Monas is now completely out of sight for the first time in the entire siege. Back in the cafe, the other hostages realise they now have the ideal opportunity to escape.
And so he left this main room, which he had never done before. He never left us behind. And I just looked over and everyone was looking at me because they all know that the tide door's open. I just said, I'm going to go get help. And so I pushed on this back door and I just ran out the back. And I was just like, well, not without me. I'm coming along as well. And I'm just grabbing Harriet.
When the door was pushed open, and without even thinking, I just ran.
A glass or something just smashed and it made this big bang. And then the gunman, he yells, and then everything just slows down.
At the doors leading to Martin Place and freedom, there's a heart-stopping moment for Jared.
Okay, something's wrong. He can't actually get out. He's literally got seconds to spare here before he knows that Monas himself may be given chase.
And I put my fingers between them to pry it open because it's not opening. And I realise it's not going to open. And so I look over my shoulder for the emergency button. And I look over my shoulder and I just slam this button.
This extraordinary footage, revealed at the siege inquest, captures the dramatic escape as 6 hostages flee through the foyer to Martin Place. The glass above the cafe door shatters as Man Monas fires a shotgun blast at the escapees.
As we're running, he came running out and he started shooting at us. We had a shot. Being halfway through the door when he shot at us, I swear I could feel pellets flying past my ears. I think the exit sign above us was shot. It was destroyed and it just fell. I remember hearing this massive noise. You see the shatter of glass, and he'd obviously shot at the door that we'd all run through at us all. And I remember yelling he's coming after us. We were running and Harriet stumbled, and I remember just picking her up and saying, "Come on, we have to go," And we just ran out, and just running for our lives. And seeing all the police there, we just put our hands up saying, "Don't shoot, don't shoot." It's this natural instinct. Just put your arms up.
You could see in absolute desperation some of the hostages more or less collapsing into the arms of the police. You've got the physical, you've got the emotional, you've actually got everything else actually coming into play, and they're done. They're spent.
Another 6 hostages have fled the cafe. Jared Morton Hoffman, Joel Herrett, Julie Taylor, Harriet Denny, and IT workers Viswakanth and Coretti, and Pushpendu Ghosh. Now, Man Monas seems set on retribution.
I thought for sure he would kill us when he came back out and realised that the others were gone. So I just thought, really, this is one of those moments, and if I'm going to die, I'm going to die here on the floor. Because for all the faith in my heart, logically I thought this has to be it,
Coming up, Man Monas makes his deadly last stand.
Bang, 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 bang. The noise was just deafening.
Another 6 people have escaped the Lindt Cafe. In the midst of the drama, Man Monas fires 2 shotgun blasts, one shattering the glass above the doorway. Fiona Ma is taking cover behind this counter. She hears Monas reloading his shotgun and realises this is her chance to escape.
I was thinking 2 shots. He's reloading, and then I went for the front door, and then I ran out. I just went for it. The police, was screaming, over here, over here.
With Fiona Ma now gone, 12 hostages are free, but 6 are still inside, and the situation is looking increasingly bleak. Manager Tori Johnson, Louisa Hope, and her elderly mother Robin, Marcia McHale, Westpac executive Selena Wynn-Pay, and barrister Katrina Dawson.
That so many people have escaped. That would be a huge body blow to him. He would actually be thinking to himself, actually, I have lost control of this. I don't really know what to do here. Like, he's got a weapon, but is he going to carry it out? Does he have that particular kind of mindset to actually go that one step further?
Monis assures the remaining hostages they're safe, but they know it's a lie. He's completely unhinged.
And he's hypo by this stage, and he is anxious and, alert, and, he's got his gun and he's spinning. And the backpack that he's wearing that supposedly had the bomb in it is moving and knocking me and probably knocking Mum as well, and so it's all kind of go, go, go.
Monis now orders Tori Johnson to his knees.
Kneel down and put your hands on your head.
Get down on your knees. Get down on your knees.
And time was just ticking, ticking, ticking again. I didn't know who was left. Tori knelt down, and he was sobbing. And then the gunman's scanning the room and looking. He's expecting the police to come in the front door. Seems to be blind that the back door is there and open. So he's looking for the police to come in the front. And he's got the gun up high, holding it high, and he's scanning and moving around and shuffling.
Still a hostage and everything.
Despite the extreme danger he's in, Tori Johnson bravely tries to reason with Monis. The cafe manager has shown extraordinary bravery and leadership throughout the siege, but it's earned him the contempt of the gunman.
His demeanour completely changes. It's like he suddenly, steels himself, suddenly goes very firm and very hard and very absolute in his body and feeling. So from the time that Tori was told to kneel was some minutes. I can't remember how long those minutes or seconds were, but it wasn't immediate. It was time enough for Tori to steady his heart, and then he shot him. A groan of despair. And it was a voice that will never leave me that asked for God's mercy. It was almost like, oh, he actually did that. It's just too unbelievable that that beautiful man was alive a moment ago, but you know that he's no longer with us. He hasn't just died, his life has been taken, and the gun and the violence of the gun, and that it's so instant. And that is the only small consolation I have in that moment, was that it was instant, and that Tori, it was instant, and
From his vantage point across Martin Place, a sniper codenamed Sierra 1 sends out a radio call.
Sierra 1, sector 502.
At 2:14 a.m. comes the order to storm the cafe. The Tactical Operations Police move in, but breaching this fortress-like old bank building is difficult and extremely dangerous. Graphic police incident footage captures the moment they fire shots in the window, but the bullets fail to shatter the thick glass. Then, as they try to enter the main doors, Monis fires 2 shots.
There's a hail of bullets and also bangs going off in the background. You've got the team in the front, which is the actual first wave going in, trying to get the eyes on the target. And then you get the actual flashbangs going on. The flashbangs are there to distract him.
2 officers, protected by a ballistics shield, burst into the building, setting off fire sprinklers as they go. Officers open fire. 22 rounds spray the inside of the cafe.
bang, 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 lights, things smashing, and then and glass and everything was just flying like this. And I thought, why is it taking so long? is he not dead yet? He's gonna get up from this? Then this all going off, and the noise was just deafening.
In the frenzied gunfire, Monos is shot at least 9 times. In the head, shoulder, upper back, lower back, buttocks, left chest, armpit, left arm, and right foot.
And I could hear the police yelling, "Police, police, you're safe, you're safe." And I remember covering my face with my hands thinking, "I'm not so sure I'm safe, there's stuff going everywhere." And then the policeman was over the top of me and, "You're safe," and we're safe. This sniper man, soldier looking guy, big person, came behind, creeping behind, and he immediately saw me and he reached up, picked me up, and I said, "Oh my God," he said, "you're safe now."
Police quickly find barrister Katrina Dawson under a table. She's bleeding and struggling to breathe, mortally wounded by fragments from a police bullet. But she still has a pulse, and paramedics fight to save her life. Tragically, at 3:12 a.m, she's declared dead at Royal Prince Alfred Hospital.
Yeah, she's a very brave young woman. And her mother and father and her 2 brothers and her husband and children have been left without a magnificent young woman whom I didn't know, but I feel like I do know because I know what sort of person her brother is, what sort of person her mother is, what sort of person her father is and her husband is. Just terrible. It's a terrible, terrible waste.
17 hours after it began, the siege at Sydney's Lindt Cafe is over. Gunman Man Monos is dead. So too, much-loved cafe manager Tori Johnson and Katrina Dawson. 3 other hostages are injured, among them Louisa Hope, shot in the foot during the police raid.
The outcome itself is not perfect. The 2 people died as a result of it. As a result of 1 direct gunshot from the hostage taker, and secondly, obviously, as they've brought out in the inquest, is that ricocheted from one of the actual bullets that was fired. It's not the perfect outcome, but it could have been a lot worse.
Then I sat down. I didn't know whether to laugh or to cry or to, am I out? Am I alive?
Coming up, grief, guilt,
Still kills me. I just wish I got killed in there.
and anger.
They arrested him, they charged him, they opposed bail, and he was given bail.
The search for answers begins.
There's one person to blame for what happened on that morning. He's dead. That's Man Monos.
In the aftermath of the siege, we all grieved. For the hostages, there was shock, a deep sadness, and guilt.
Part of me wishes I didn't run sometimes. Just wish I stayed there. It still kills me. Yes, as bad as it sounds and ungrateful as it sounds, I almost wish I got killed in there. Other people died in there and you got out. It's just, yeah. A bit of guilt, I guess. Yeah. Katrina was sitting right behind me, and I was thinking, I was trying to comprehend, should I maybe grabbed her hand, or, I'm thinking, well, why didn't she run, like, just so many thoughts in my head. Just thought we were all gonna be okay, and I thought wrong, and, like, got most out, but just not enough.
They did what they had to do. And it's okay that they survived. It's okay that we survived.
Before the siege had even ended, the questions and recriminations had begun. Many were outraged Monos was free on bail, given the litany of serious charges he was facing.
It's simply disgraceful. What were the coppers supposed to do? They arrested him, they charged him, they opposed bail, and he was given bail.
You send another letter again. I said definitely this is like a basket of flour.
I'm horrified by it. I'm haunted by it till this day that he was given bail. Not just by one magistrate, by 2. That bloke should never have been on the streets of Sydney, given that he was given bail over very, very, very serious crimes. Sexual assault of women and an accessory to murder.
It's here at the inquest, some 16 months later, the search for answers to the Lindt Cafe siege continues. What was Man Monos' motivation? Why did he kill Tori Johnson? How did Katrina Dawson die? Was the police response adequate, or should they have stormed the cafe sooner?
People can actually kind of speculate as to whether the police should have gone earlier. You're dealing with an unknown here, and the unknown is the backpack. At the end of the day, that backpack, no one knew what was in there. If it would have been a bomb, a suicide bomb in effect, it would have caused a massive amount of devastation in there.
The inquest examined the police response in forensic detail.
That the police marksman and police assault group contended with during the siege.
Questions were even asked about whether the Army's crack commandos, the tactical assault group, should have been used to break the siege, especially given they were on standby.
You'd be a brave person to criticise anyone in relation to what happened there. There's one person to blame for what happened on that morning, for the deaths of those two people. He's dead. That's Man Monis.
In the painstaking search for answers, even the ammunition used by police was in the spotlight after it was confirmed how Katrina Dawson died. She was fatally wounded by shrapnel from one of the high-velocity 5.56mm bullets fired by the rescue team.
I suppose the question mark at the moment now is the choice of bullet in that particular environment, and the actual 5.56 round, or the high velocity round, will skip quite hard as well. It will ricochet. It creates a lot of damage inside the body. The fragmentation itself is merciless, really, because it's like a razor, really, when it splits.
While the inquest will answer many questions about the siege and provide lessons for the future, there will undoubtedly be ongoing debate about Man Monis himself.
I sent letters, sympathy letters, to the family of Australian soldiers.
Was he a true terrorist, or was the siege the tragic and bloody act of a deranged, obsessive man?
I think Monis himself actually aspired to be a terrorist. The problem is that he wasn't. He certainly had connections and dialogue with some of the groups, okay? But I don't think anyone listened. He felt at the end of the day he needed to do something to get the world, or to get even Australia, to sit up and listen to him. And that's what happened. That's why he actually walked into that cafe and decided to do that.
Well, Man Monis was not a criminal mastermind. He had the IQ of a kumquat, which is evidenced by his behaviour before and during the siege. I mean, we aren't dealing with, someone other than a madman that perhaps should never have been allowed in the country in the first place and should have been incarcerated well before he claimed those two lives early on that morning.